Okay, so hey there, and this is my video about a possible serial killer that has never been caught. Now, what I'm going to say is only the truth. I'm going old school. I'm not going to go by what every single thing on the media says, because over time, media plays telephone. Did you hear about the footprint? Did you hear that the footprint belonged to this one? So and so killed this one. This one says they killed it. In every single crime, especially unsolved crimes, you're going to have telephone, you're going to have media gossip, you're going to have withheld information. Police are not going to give 100% of the information to the public because they're going to hold back what they know that the killer knows. Okay? Unless it's a really, really, really hard crime to solve. But in those crimes, you're going to get a lot of drama. You have to go back to the original first, let's say, 6 months of that crime so that everything else after the investigation, because 6 months should be enough time to have evidence and information back to the police department for them to have something to go on for the crime. Here is a book of unsolved crimes that I printed up and looked at and wrote information down. One of the biggest crimes was Jon Benet Ramsey. Now, Jon Benet Ramsey is one of those cases where they just will never solve it, whether they're using the DNA evidence. They're never going to solve it because there's too much gossip and too much media interaction. Jon Benet Ramsey was put in the basement in a boiler room, locked from the outside. There was a footprint, a photo. This is original or partial footprint downstairs, right by her body. Okay. Body's wrapped up, very motherly. She was strangled. She was hit over the head. She was tasered or whatever. Her clothes were changed. Supposedly there was pineapple in a bowl, kitchen. These are photos that the police took for a reason. They took those photos of certain things because they thought it would be prevalent of the crime scene. The flashlight on the counter. That's not a police flashlight from the police coming in and investigating. That was left there because the police took a photo of it. They're going to take crime scene photos immediately after they find that there was a dead body. They're going to come back and take crime scene photos. Everything that they took photos of is talked about in the beginning. That's what you got to go by. The suitcase in the window with the scuff mark, etc. Now, this crime looks like, because of the ransom note, that it was an intruder came down to the basement, came upstairs, took Jon Benet, wrote this letter, and killed her in the basement and tried to take her out the suitcase. No, they didn't try to take her out of the suitcase. This crime scene has odd clues that the police are going by. He's left a lot of clues in the open. Not a clue like, oh, here's a hair, or a clue, here's a bubblegum wrapper. No, he left the clues in the open. He left one piece of the paintbrush in the tray. He used the same paintbrush and the rope. He left that stuff there. He left the suitcase there. He left the scuff mark there. He left the grid open, the window open. He left the pineapple bowl out. He left the glass out. Why? Look at this crime closely. For everything there is, there's always a question. Like, why is the window open? Oh, he came in the window. No, the window was broken by John or whatever. It's going to be dramatized for many years that window is very, very important. It's not. He didn't come through that grid. If somebody had come into that grid from the outside with the mud, leaves, the popcorn shredding that was in the grid. Okay, there was popcorn shredding. That's a known fact. They come in the grid, they open it up. It's going to blow some stuff in a little bit. If not, the body and the feet are going to track it in. So he comes in the window and he jumps down onto the floor. One scuff mark. Where's the rest of the dirt? Where is the rest of the dirt from the window in? Where's the rest of the footprints? Where's the rest of the popcorn and leaves? The trail? No. Wake up and smell the coffee. Common sense. There's no trail in that window. Okay. And then there's a footprint. One footprint in the room where she's at. One footprint cannot happen. If the room's dusty, the room's dirty, even if the room's spick and clean, and you're barefoot or you're in socks, the sweat, something's going to leave a trail. One footprint? Come on. Then she's changed. Her clothes are changed. That means that person went up to her room and she was confident to let them in. She was not abducted like this down the stairs. She wasn't hit in the head in the bedroom. She wasn't killed in that bedroom. They went upstairs. He took the clothes to change her. And he took those clothes before they got home. So he went up to that room and he is confident that he could walk Jon Benet Ramsey out of that room. Okay, so maybe it's Patsy. Maybe it's a father. Maybe it's Burke. She was comfortable leaving that room. There was no screams. Bullshit. No neighbor heard a scream across the street. Because if they did, they would have called 911. Or they could have heard another girl that was hurt in that neighborhood at the same time, which is going to be Gary Olivia. But the point is, so you have one footprint downstairs. How does that one footprint get in? So they didn't come in through the basement. I'm going to tell you how they got in. Right through the front fucking door. That crime scene looks like the game of Clue. It looks exactly like the game of Clue. Professor Plum, Mrs. White, Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Peacock, Mr. Johnson, and the butler. And there's the living room, the basement, the bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen. And there's the rope and the bat on the head or whatever hit her on the head, and the railroad track electronics, and the rope, the tying up of the hands, and the duct tape. What killed her? In what room? And who killed her? Clue. It looks exactly like the game of Clue. This person set up that crime scene to keep playing like the game of Clue. Clue is made to end different ways. Wake up and smell the coffee. This is a very smart serial killer that killed Jon Benet Ramsey. If you were to take all the suspects of that crime and do a background check, the original suspects of that crime, Mom, Dad, and Burke, you really don't need to do a background on them. They've already done the background. Obviously, they want to find out where the family came from and whatnot. Then you have maybe the maid, okay? You could do a background check on the maid. Clean, fine. Her family, fine. They did a background check on that. But this wasn't a female crime, and this wasn't a teenager crime. This crime was so clean cut. This crime was so overkill. This is not a kid. This is not a woman. This is a male killer. It's a male killer making it look like a female killer because he wrapped the body. He has remorse. It's a serial killer. So it's not the maid. The background, you don't need to do a check on them because they have been checked and the Ramseys have been checked by the police thoroughly. Trust me. Now, you got Santa Claus and his family. I don't know why they actually tested Santa Claus, because maybe because he was around her within the last 72 hours. He was at a party 2 nights before, the night before. So they're going to go 24 hours. But Santa agrees. They don't really need to do his wife and kids. He's only Santa Claus. But the whole family gives DNA anyways. Okay. Then you have the whites. Now, I'm sure that they did a background on the whites very thoroughly. The police department is going to look at the whites immediately before Santa Claus. So you do a background on this. Now, it's going to show where John was born, Arkansas. It's going to show his business there. He's established in Colorado. The mom's from Georgia or whatever. We all know that. And then you have the whites and wherever they're from. But you can do a background check like I did. The whites were only in 2 states. Now, go on to Santa Claus. Forget John Mark Carr. John Mark Carr is a wannabe. He would, if he had, first of all, he's changed his sex, okay? That's not a serial killer's intention when they transgender. I've studied psychology. It's not John Mark Carr. He's a crybaby wannabe that wanted to ride back to the U.S. It's not Gary Olivia for sure. Gary Olivia lies, and he's had plenty of time to study that handwriting. Plenty of time. He would have come out that night, and he would have been caught that night because he called his friend. Why didn't his friend call? No, it doesn't make sense. No, that's bullshit drama on the media. Media's behalf. What you see on TV, you believe. Everything is scripted and everything is fake. Okay? I'm an actor. I've been on television shows. I've done scripts. You cannot get off the script. Everything is scripted, even newscasters. Good evening, Channel 7 News. Our first story of the night. They're scripted. They are told what to say. Okay? So, go to Santa Claus. Now, I did a background check on Santa Claus. And Santa Claus has gotten around. He's got homes in Colorado. He has homes in Massachusetts. His wife has a home in Eugene, Oregon that belongs to her parents. They have 1 or 2 residents in Colorado. They also have apparently a place in New York where the son is also registered to. So they've gotten around. They have different states they've been to. And then he's a college professor. So he has taught in many different places. I don't have my background thing on him right in front of me, but I do know he's been in Utah, and he's been in Colorado, and he's been in Washington and Oregon, Texas, for sure. He was born and raised in Texas, and he went to college in Texas. And the Army, I believe he was out of Illinois. And he's also been registered in New York and New Mexico. It's weird. I don't know why he has an address because I did a background check on him. And I don't know why he has an address in New Mexico, but I believe it has something to do with the daughter's boyfriend on that one. So I wouldn't say yes to New Mexico. But so what I did was I said, okay, let me put him in order of where he lived. For instance, from the age of being born to 16 or 18 would be from 1930 to 1948. He was in Texas, and then he was in California with his grandparents for a little bit when he was like 18. Then he went to college, etc. And you'll see his background. He moved different places and whatnot throughout the years. And he's been established in Colorado since 1968, but he's got homes in other places. So I thought to myself, this guy's kind of arrogant too. If you watch Santa Claus, he goes on national television. He goes on Geraldo Rivera sometime in 97. He goes on Good Morning America sometime in 97. And he goes on 2 other shows in 98 to proclaim his innocence. I am innocent. I'm Santa Claus, and I love Jon Benet Ramsey. I love Jon Benet Ramsey. She's my glitter and my ashes. But he's on 4 television shows proclaiming his innocence. That's an attention getter. Right there, that shows he wants attention, like a typical serial killer. They want the attention. They want the spotlight. So, let me do a little background and see what his college, his education's all about. It's all theatrical, history major. He's a college professor for journalism. Okay, journalism now. So now he is the instructor of the people that you see on TV. So when you watch those newscasts in Colorado, this is WWCO, Colorado News at 6 o'clock, and this is Bob Johnson speaking live with more information on the Jon Benet Ramsey case. Apparently, sources say blah, 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 blah. That person on that television show that you're watching on that news was instructed by Santa Bill. Those newspapers, you open up the Star, you open up the Boulder Chronicle, Good Morning, and on the front page, Jon Benet Ramsey murder. All that scripted stuff is put there by journalism, okay? And he teaches those people how to properly put that in there without getting in trouble. He is the professor that helps college students graduate before they become big in television. It's almost like a drama school. It's basically theatrical arts, teaching theatrical arts, journalism, how to write books, how to write scripts. It gives it away. He's all about the paper. He's all about the stories, okay? He's a journalism professor. But he's manipulated people through the news already. He's the mafia to the news. Wake up and smell the coffee. So I said, let me see if I could just find some cases in the areas that he's been in. And there's quite a number of beauty queens that have been killed. There's the Maria Rudolph in 1957 in Illinois, unsolved. There's one in 1962 in August, unsolved. And that was in Ohio. He's been in Ohio a couple of times, by the way. So I started looking at this. Could he have killed Sherry Jo Bates, California? Yes, he could have. Yes, he could have. That is his grandparents' alma mater, his mom's parents' alma mater. There's the Fort Worth trio missing. The Girl Scouts in Oklahoma in 1977. He killed them. He killed them, I'm sure of it. One footprint in a bloody tent. Come on. One footprint in a bloody tent. One fingerprint on a flashlight left over in a pervert's cave. What a setup. What a crime. What drama that would make for books, movies, theatrical, journalism, writing. Pay attention. August of 78 and August of 84. Claire Hugh and Barbara Nantis, his. Deborah Jackson, October 31st, 1979 in Texas, a victim of his. Michelle Martinico, blamed on somebody else, his. Sherry Ann Jarvis, his. There's patterns. The Tylenol tampering. That's Santa Bill. Illinois. Tylenol tampering. Pay attention to names, dates, places, and numbers. I'm going to go real quickly through the Tylenol. The victims were Mary Ann Kellerman. Double letters. Just saying Kellerman, double letters. Just remember that. And then an Adam, a Stanley, and a Teresa. Then a Mary McFarland, then Paula Prince, then Mary Reiner, all through September into the 3rd of October. One of the bottles was manufactured in Pennsylvania, and one of the bottles was manufactured and sold in Texas, but they were brought to Illinois. Texas, just remember that. There was a scam about somebody who wrote the letters and said that they did it, but they didn't do it. Now, there's video of a man on there, and it matches the description of Bill at that age range. Okay? Just saying. Watch when I'm right. Okay, so Jonelle Matthews, another little girl in Colorado, disappeared in December. Returning from a choir concert. She was a choir girl. This guy likes to kill show-off girls. Drag queens, show-off girls, beauty queens, choir, the play, right? Carnival people. He likes the thrill of entertainment. Okay? His victims are Little Miss Former this and that. Newscasters. They show up. Watch. Then there's Athena Hogan. Okay. A former, she's from Texarkana, Texas. Margaret Latimer. She disappeared October 20th. October. He likes that date, by the way. Jacqueline Dollaby, 7 years of Illinois, in September, late September. Yogurt shop murders, December of 1991. That's Bill McReynolds, 100%. Jody Sue Hesserton, whatever, the newscaster. A newscaster from Mason City, Iowa, 27 years old, okay? And she was, and some letters were sent. The letters were sent from Indiana or Iowa or something. She went to St. Cloud, Minnesota, St. Cloud University, the same college that somebody taught at. Did he get his doctorates in history there at that time? I wonder. No, it was when she went to college. Oh, and she was, by the way, her first job was Northwest Airlines. I'm just telling you that for a reason, Northwest Airlines, okay? Amber Hagerman, Texas, the Amber Alert. Bill. Catherine Corzelius, Texas. Her birthday was October 5th. Her abduction date was August 7th, 96. Right before Jon Benet Ramsey. August 7th. Out of Texas. And that one is Bon Jovi's manager's daughter. Entertainment. Then there's Jon Benet Ramsey, 96. Massachusetts, the year of 2000 in June, Molly Bish, lifeguard, came up missing. He is also the anthrax mailer. He's role-playing with the anthrax. Yeah, they're hitting anthrax because the Muslims, the Ali believers, sent it because of the letters said Ali. And they're sending anthrax to America. They just bombed their buildings. They could take out the buildings again. It's that quickly. Come on. They're not going to use anthrax in that. They're not going to waste their money on anthrax. They're going to do suicidal missions. It's a totally different crime. Anthrax is an American endurance to poison our own people. That's not a Muslim crime. No. Not in New York. Not at the same time as 9/11. No. Sorry. It's Bill. The letters. Come on. I can lead him back to New York. He's also the ABC killer in the 1970s. 3 girls with the ABC. A lot of his victims have double letters. A lot of his victims have double letters. pretty much all of them, actually. I'm not going to keep giving all this information away, but Bill McReynolds killed Jon Benet Ramsey. He dressed as Santa Claus, and he is a sick individual that you just won't catch because he's a professional serial killer. You won't catch him until he admits it or he fucks up with DNA. He's not going to with DNA after that many years. He's been killing since he was 16 years old. He's the Texarkana Phantom. The Texarkana Phantom's 16 years old. It's because his sister Mary died at the age of 10 from polio. She suffocated, apparently. I don't think so. I would put money on it that his father killed the sister in 1937. And then the father fled. And he saw it, and he got PTSD. But August 6 or 7 involves choking every time. October 3rd is the birthday of his sister. He lived with his mother until he was 15 or 16. And I believe he's the Texarkana killer. And here's why. He also kills doppels of his father. He kills himself. He kills guys with glasses. Like, he'll kill, like, what I look like, okay? I'm a doppel to what he would kill right now, except clean-shaven. The typical look of a businessman with the glasses. A geek, a nerd, whatever you want to call it. That look, you understand? His first two victims were Jimmy Hollis, who's a doppel to him and his father, and a Mary Jean Larry. Mary, his first victim, and she survived. That is your typical serial killer. He made an attempt, he fucked up, she lived, he died. But he didn't care because he is killing the man in replacement for his father killing his sister. That's why he kills doppelgangers of his sister. The victims all have something in common. And it's, now, this killing, by the way, was in February 22nd of 1946. His dad's birthday. Okay? It's habit. You can't break a habit. You can throw off your crime, your MO. You can throw your MO off all you want. You can change your MO. You can fuck with the police and leave DNA. It's not that hard. Let me place DNA. But habits you can't break, including smoking. Okay. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of detail, but at the age of 18, he killed the Black Dahlia 3. And the reason I say that he broke those girls, that killed those girls, was because on February 10th, his birthday is February 8th, but on his birthday in 1948, at the age of 18, his 18th birthday, he killed Jeannie French. The reason I say he killed Jeannie French, and that means he would have killed the other girls, is because he wrote, "Fuck you, BD Tex." T-E-X. He's got his persona. He's the Texarkana killer, but now he's a serial killer, and he wants to be called Tex instead of Texarkana. 3 girls. It's a new kill. He likes to represent a different character. Every time he kills, he has a new name. He loves all the names. He's gotten the ABC killer. He's gotten the killer of this, the killer of that. He loves the attention. He's been collecting names. It's stage names for him. He's collecting these stage names every time he does a crime throughout his life. There's a pattern to it, and you'll see, if you just look up that information, you can find it yourself. Ohio, August 24th, 1951. The disappearance of Beverly Potts, TT. Just letting you know that. I don't know about this Chicago killing. I was thinking that he did the Grimes family. But he was in the military and he got released in 56. So I think he killed Barbara Jean and Patricia Kathleen of the Grimes family as well in Illinois. I can't prove that, but he's in the time frame in the area. The Maria Rudolph case, it got the attention of a president of the United States, unsolved. Okay, so as you go through, there's a lot of little things in here that you will see match up with him on dates. Okay. Names, Mary, October 3rd-ish, August 6th to 7th. Also Christmas time, always Christmas time during the holidays. February, birthday kills. He's January to February for a reason that he does his kills in January and February, and that's because he's in Aquarius. Zodiac belief. Just saying. Zodiac is the Text Arcana. I am sure the Text Arcana is the Zodiac, and I'm also sure Text Arcana is Bill McReynolds. All you got to do is figure it out. It's not that hard. In the Text Arcana, when it says, my name is AEN, this one. Okay, Text Arcana Phantom. Very simple and easy cryptogram. No trick. He's telling you he's the Text Arcana Phantom. It's the exact same type of killings. Pattern. 100% Text Arcana is Zodiac. Now, I'm telling you that Bill McReynolds, the Santa Claus, is the Text Arcana as well. See, he liked naming himself. He loved naming himself. The murders in August 4th, 1971. He would have been the age of 41. Rhonda Johnson, Sharon Shaw. But Rhonda Renee Johnson, Sharon Lynn Shaw. A lot of double letters. Galveston, Texas. He murdered them too. August. Am I correct? Was that was the December one? No, that was August 4th. Coincidental, just close to the date. Just saying, beginning of midlife crisis. He's going for 2 at one time. The Valentine's couple, February 14th, 1974, in Fort Worth, Texas. They were basically a Zodiac-style killing. Just saying. Cowden family murders. Fort Worth trio missing. Now that was in December, but